Okay, to shift gears a little bit, Jacque, someone wanted you to elaborate. He was confused about, on a prior radio show, you commented on purpose and the illusion of purpose, and he wanted you to elaborate on your perspective of this term, purpose, as we know.
Okay. They say that in your school books that plants grow. They cannot grow unless there's radiant energy, ultraviolet light, certain gravity, air pressure, nutritious soil, many different conditions. The plant of itself cannot grow. Neither can human beings unless they're subject to education, to knowledge, to experiment, and to try to find answers. But of yourself, you cannot grow. You need schools, books, experience of other people to accumulate that knowledge would be growth. Nothing in nature is self-operating. Plants depend on radiant energy. A seed, when you put a seed in the ground, if there's snow on the ground, it doesn't grow. So a seed depends on temperature, nutrients, moisture, radiant energy. Nothing of itself, no product that we know of is self-operating. Automobiles require fuel. The human body requires food intake. The brain requires experience, all kinds of different experiences. We of ourselves can do nothing. If you raise a human being in a gray ball and just feed it, even though the human being has nothing wrong with it physically, it'll become a cerebral insufficient unless it sees color change, sound changes, and experiences environmental contact.
Really, they talk about purpose a lot, and purpose comes from religion. There really is no purpose other than what you make of your life. You can have a hammer and you can hit somebody over the head, or you could build a house with it. It depends on what you do. The purpose of that hammer is not to kill somebody, but it could be anything you want it to be. They say that they give purpose to everything. They say that the purpose of your eyebrows is to keep the sweat out of your eyes. But if you start looking for purpose, then you have to say, well, what's the purpose of coughing and sneezing? To infect other people around you? They only look at the good things when they talk about purpose.
They say the purpose of horns on animals is to defend themselves. Well, where's the horns on a rabbit? It sure could use it. In other words, they're always looking for purpose. They think that the purpose of a webbed foot on a duck is to get out of the water faster. No, they're born with webbed foot, and that gets them out of the water faster. And the only kind of ducks they can reproduce with are web-footed ducks. The others have been caught, didn't get out of the water fast enough. They say the purpose of a long beak on a bird is to get at the worms deep in the soil. Well, when there's a long drought, the only birds that survive are the long beaks. And the only birds they can mate with are long beaked. So you see, if there's lots of floods and lots of water, then flying with a long beak is carrying an extra load. Right. So it's not purposeful for that condition. Right. So there's really, a person said to me, well, the purpose of the eyes are to see with. So I bring them in a dark room and say, see. You need light, you don't see. You need light to reflect images on your retina. And the retina delivers that to the occipital lobe of the brain. And you see with your brain, not with your eyes. In other words, there's such a thing as educated vision, whereas an engineer or a machinist sometimes can look at a part and tell me it seems to be 1/1000th of an inch off. I didn't know that humans can do that. Most humans do not have that kind of educated vision.
True. That's a good point. And also purpose, as you pointed out on a prior radio show, there's an idea of evolutionary purpose and unfolding and adaptation. And the issue of purpose, well, it's not even the word of purpose isn't as much applicable, but animals stay that fit into their environment.
Exactly that.
As opposed to grooming somehow through some form of process. They're being groomed into it as far as
well, they think that nature produces some bugs that look like leaves, and they say that nature accommodates that bug so it won't be picked off. Now, why does nature make one animal hungry and then camouflage the other one so it can't see it? I would say that bugs that look like a leaf, when they crawl over a leaf, they're less bothered. so they stay there, and you think that the bug adjusted itself to look like a leaf. That's not true, because I've painted fish with different types of oil paints and painted the bottom of the tank with different colors. When you paint a fish black and it's over a white area, it's chased by predators until it stays over the black area, and they think that the fish turned black to protect itself. No, each animal stays in regions where they're not detected.
Yes.
They're born different ways. If the pattern of their bodies supports survival, they live. If it doesn't, they are picked off.
Let me extend that into the word harmony. This is something we also talked about. This idea that there is harmony in nature.
Yeah.
There's a romanticism.
Well, it's a metaphysical notion. What's the purpose then of a tsunami? To kill people? What's the purpose of an earthquake? Why don't you find purpose in everything? What's the purpose of a